And I'm like, well, why don't you think about marketing and business? He's like, no, I hate business. And I'm like, it's typical father son thing. I'm in business, so he doesn't like it. Just like my father was a contractor and I hated construction. So, it's the apple doesn't fall far from the tree in those respects. But I'm like, Francisco, everything you do is about business. So if you're creating a design production, I mean, you're doing marketing for some company with that video probably, or you're trying to sell something, and understanding how the whole picture works is so critical. That way, you're not, because I think sometimes, like a project manager or build out a process like, oh yeah, this will be great for our company to use. And then the people on the street, like the sales reps that are trying to put in the orders, following that process, they're like, oh my God, I don't even want to sell anything because it's so awful. But if you understood their world, that's where you can do it from a better place. That was my sales pitch to him. He took it. He loves it so far.
Well, I think it's great. I mean, ultimately, everything is sales. Everything, I don't care who you are, what type of work you do. Ultimately you have to be a good salesperson in order to have success. If that's something you're interested in, or, alternatively, you can go, work at a company and take a different route. But frankly, if you want, I found some of the most successful and really happy people that I know, and that, really be their own boss, and really have their own business. And that's something that I really, that was important to me early on, and really is probably more important to me today than ever. And so I got into digital marketing basically just for myself, just to basically, create a stream of business for myself and for my law firm. And, there's different ways of getting business in law. A lot of people, they go out and they network, and which is great. And I'm not saying that, don't do that. A lot of people, you
can't put all your eggs in one basket.
You can't, but I do think that in today's world that the days of, I guess, the traditional way of practicing law was you basically, you practice law for a zillion years, you developed a great reputation. And after 20 or 30 years of practicing law, people recognized your name, they recognized your work. And then they started, sending you cases. And, don't get me wrong, that still is a great way of getting business, getting referrals just from old clients, from colleagues, from family is great. Don't get me wrong, but it's still a limited circle out there, and what I, recognized was that if you want to grow the business, you have to expand that circle. And the way that I've put energy into it it still is by spending a lot of time, creating content on different websites. And it's been, does everything work? Of course not. But all things being equal, it's been very effective.
But that's the thing, though. It all feeds into the same machine. I mean, just because of the fact that maybe it's something and it doesn't necessarily give me a lead or hit on the website because of that link, it still helps in the background because it's helping boost up your credibility, for example, in Google's database, to where it's giving you some more SEO and stuff like that, more relevant. And in the big scope of things, every little thing you do like that really helps out to build that credibility, so that way you can rank higher and stuff like that.
It does. And you're right. It's just a process. Everything is a process. The work that you're doing today, if you're looking to get results tomorrow, you're going to be sorely, disappointed.
Yeah, it takes time.
It takes time, and everything, it builds on itself. And one of the things that I've really had a hard time wrapping my head around was that, just because I wrote something, or a year ago or 2 years ago or whatever, a lot of times you have to go back and refresh it and revise it and improve upon it to stay current, to stay relevant. And if that was something was working, a couple of years ago, it may not be working today.
Things have changed. Yeah, drastically in the last 2 years.
Things have changed. Competitions, it just keeps, intensifying, and if you just sit back, that's it.